Folks, really excited to have an old friend on the podcast with me. Ron Vaimberg has been one of those guys where I met many, many years ago, and we've been cross referral partners for a long, long time. He's brought me some great clients. I've brought him some great clients, and it is just a pleasure to welcome you back to the podcast, Ron. We've had you on before. It's good to have you back.
I'm glad to be back, and I'm grateful to be back.
Yeah, well, the most important part is we're going to be talking about your book, The Purchase Shift, which is right behind you for those that are looking at the video. But Ron recently released a book. But before we get into that book, Ron, I really want to kind of just, for those that do not know you, can't imagine that because you've been around since the beginning of time like I have been. So, you've been around for a long, long time. But tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. And then I love the fact that in your book, you give credit to your wife of so many years, your son and your mom that's in her 90s. So give us a little bit of a journey, just a little Reader's Digest, quick snapshot so people can say, I got to get to know this dude.
Fair enough. Well, started in the business in 1984, started as a loan officer for a regional bank. And the short story is originator, manager, worked for some big bank, and then had my own mortgage brokerage for a number of years.
Yeah.
And
you were
I had
actually successful at that.
I'm sorry?
You were successful at it too.
I was successful at that. And at the same time, in the latter years of my mortgage brokerage, I started doing training and coaching, and I had a business partner. Yeah. And he was not necessarily thrilled that I was kind of doing both.
That you're helping others and become successful at that. Yeah, well, that brought you to a point which really launched you into what you're doing now. So you went all into coaching. And I tell you, you coach some of the top producers that have been around. And the thing that you always pay attention to is how long people stick around. You've been coaching some guys for pretty much their whole career, through their whole career cycle.
Some through their whole career. Many of my clients have been with me for 3 or more years. I have a number of that are over 10 years. And to me, it's a relationship.
It is.
It's about just as long as I'm providing value, they're going to stay because they're making money. And it's not just about money. It's about the fulfillment that they're having in their business.
Yeah. And the growth and the ability to continue to perform. You're constantly raising the bar for anyone. Every time I talk to you, I raise the bar for me and what I'm doing. It's just really a joy to have you here. But you've got a new book that's published, and I want to come back and just say one of the things I enjoy, the fact how you honor your wife. Is it 37 years?
We just celebrated 35 years.
35 years. Wow. Okay, great. And then you mentioned your son in there. You're obviously a family man. And then your mom. Your mom is at 90-something?
She's 94. I mean, at the time we're talking now, she's not doing well. She'd been doing great and kind of taking a turn for the worse. But my mom was a lifelong, still is, although she's not reading anymore. She's been a lifelong learner, a lifelong reader. And I only realized the other day that my book, because I sent it to her, was the last full book she read. Oh. And I only realized that the other day. And not only is that a great memory, but she had said something to me. And my mom, I still tease her, even now. Good. And she got up to like page 50 or 60 or what have you. And she knows nothing about the mortgage business. She had one mortgage in her entire life. And she goes, around page 50 or 60, she goes, you make me feel like I could do this.
Yeah.
And I go, Ma, I know a lot of people. I can get you a job. And she starts, no, I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I'm like, Ma, I'm kidding.
That's true.
But it was so cool that she said that because that's what I was hoping for. Not from my mom. I was hoping from everybody else. And so I had that to cherish. That.
It is. She hits on a really good point because you do make it seem so easy. And then I'm thinking of Wes from Pilgrim Mortgage, who recently bought or a couple of, I guess 2 or 3 years ago, bought Pilgrim Mortgage, and he was a very successful loan officer, often doing well. And I recommend books out to clients, but he wrote me and says, Dave, you won't believe this book, and he shows him his picture with his cowboy boots kicked up on a fire pit, and he's reading your book, and he shows how it's highlighted on there with his at the pool at his house,
wow.
out at his ranch. And he gave you the biggest compliment. He says, I just cracked the cover of this book, and it is so good looking. Thank you for encouraging me to read it. You were kind enough to send it over to him. So it's really grabbing attention. What is the reason you wrote this book, Ron? What was the motivation behind it?
There are many motivations. One motivation was that I see in my history so many originators that really don't know how to go after purchase business. They get purchase business by default. They get it by doing some things, but very few, except the top producers, really have a path. And there's all the talk about, because the book was released in May, and all the talk is rates are going to drop. It's going to be a refi boom and what have you. And I believe you always have, top producers never lost sight of the purchase business. They just figured out a way to do purchase and refi. So to me, the title, The Purchase Shift, I struggled with so many titles and finally came up with that one. The Purchase Shift it's a shift in mentality. It's a shift that no matter what, people will always buy and sell homes. And when many people go for the refis, this is what I say.
Yeah.
When you become just going for refis,
Yes.
you are sacrificing future income for today.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Yes.
And yes, you've got to make money for today, but the low-hanging fruit is always going to be, it's always you're going to pay for it later. You're going to pay for it later.
Yeah, you go for the refis, which is the low-hanging fruit in the markets where you can do it, but the real money and the long-term money is made in the purchase business, which is a shift of mentality for so many. Let's walk through the book somewhat. I mean, I want everyone who is listening to this to be motivated by the time we're done with this interview, Ron, to go out and buy the book. What are some things what are some of the main principles that you put out there that got Wes so excited? I mean, he said, Dave, I've already cracked the book. I'm in the first chapter, and he shows all the highlighting and notes, and he says, I've got some great new material for my guys that I'm out there, guys and gals that are working for him, to help them and motivate them. So walk us through the book.
Well, as you know, the subtitle the title is A Purchase Shift, Winning Agent Relationships with Authentic Connection and AI. Because
I'm real interested in the latter part, the AI. It's a big focus of everything I'm doing now. But
here's the funny part. If Wes is only that far into the book, he hasn't even gotten to anything with AI. It's about, you can have the greatest AI in the business, but this is still a relationship business.
It is.
And it's a very basic principle. The more emotional a decision is for human beings, the more human interaction is needed. I was just talking about this earlier with someone else. The simplest example, before I go further, is if you've ever had a medical condition and you're going through that moment of uncertainty, and although buying a house or getting a mortgage is not a medical condition and it's not life or death, although some people will treat it that way. Yeah. But after you went and researched whatever your medical condition was, and you did the Google and did the AI and whatever, I go, did you feel better or did you feel worse? And everybody's like, I always felt worse. I felt more uncertain. And that's really what the internet has done now, because it is so big, it is so huge, it's so different, it's so polarized, whatever you want to call it, that your ability to really feel comfortable in an emotional situation, that doesn't work. Human beings make that happen. Yeah. So I'm seeing this whole push towards technology and what have you, and maybe I'm a little bit older, but I'm still quote unquote old school. And old school just simply means relationships. Yeah. It's about handling the psychology of the average buyer or the realtor, understanding that psychology. And in the book, it's a combination of psychology and Here's what you say. Here's how you say it. This is how you deal with objections. This is where you plug in AI tools to save you time, energy, effort, to make you better, to make you more productive. But in walking through the book, it really starts with straightening out up here.
I like that.
If you don't look at the business the right way, and I use this phrase often, I go, there's two words that we use, but we use them interchangeably, but they're not the same. There's the word simple, and there's the word easy. What does everybody want? They want easy. Except easy, by one of the definitions, means little to no effort.
Yes. Yep.
Simple simply means not difficult, not complicated. So our industry, being great as an originator, the truth of the matter is, it is not easy, not in any way, shape, or form, but it is simple. If you're willing to put the time, energy, and effort into learning the simple strategies, be it mine, be it whomever you choose as your mentor, your coach, they're all simple. Anybody who makes it complex, there's no reason for it.
Yep.
So it starts out with the mindset, and then it just starts out with, what are the mindset of originators? What are the mindset of your target audience? Instead of asking yourself, how do you get business, get clear on who you're looking to do business with. See, that's the beautiful part. When there is no shortage of anything that you search for in our industry. If you can be a jack of all mortgage programs and have every one, but every one of us has a certain type of client that we like working with the best. And when I say this certain type of client, I'm not talking about 800 FICO score, 20% down, and they don't care about rate. That would be a beautiful thing, but that's not reality.
That's all right.
But there's a certain type of personality. There are certain people that we connect with. It's called having an avatar. Know who your avatar is of who you want to work with. So I talk a lot about that because the mind is an incredible tool.
Yep.
It's incredibly powerful. When it really is taught what to focus on, or told what to focus on, it finds it.
Isn't that interesting? It is so where your eyes go, where you focus on is, we teach this in driving. I mean, where your eyes go is where your car's going to go. When you look at, I'm thinking about singularity of focus is, I mean, a good example of that is our mutual client. In fact, it's a client you referred to me, is Brian Cook. He just launched World
Home Loans.
And it's just launched this over the Labor Day holiday. He is a maniac because he is just so singularly focused on taking care of veterans in a way like nobody else. I mean, I like the guy. I see how good he is. I mean, he originates 80 to 85 loans per month by himself. He has a team that supports him. It's just, that's a good testimony of the importance of really focusing on the one thing that you really are really good at or can be passionate about. Talk a little bit about that. You worked with Brian, really success. It's a great success story.
I started coaching Brian back in, I think he came to an event of mine, I think it was 2016. And it was a 2-day event in San Francisco. We met for the first time. He was bouncing off the walls.
I can see
and he still does.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
And I'm looking at him and I'm like, this guy's crazy, but he's got energy.
Yes, he does.
And so we ended up coaching for a couple of years, and his business was growing and what have you. And then we kind of went our own ways. I kept on doing my thing, and he went his own way and had a journey through different mortgage companies and what have you. And long story short, he's now launched, actually, as of Labor Day, World Home Loans.
World Home Loans, yep.
But I've been coaching with him now again for almost 2 years. But I'm not coaching him, in his case, I'm not coaching him how to get business. I coach a lot of other originators how to get business. He doesn't need my help to get business. I coach him on how to look at his business, on how to message his business, on understanding people that, you're leading, you're bringing onto your team, how to build. And that's where you and I complement each other perfectly, because you are more the behind the scenes guy and I'm more the out front
with the
person.
loan officers. Yes, exactly right.
And so he's just, he's just an incredible success story, because personally, I don't know when he sleeps. I think he naps, and that's about it.
That's a common factor. I mean, whether you look at anyone who's wildly successful, they have a tendency to be pretty driven in that sense. I do believe in work-life balance, and he's now got a baby coming, so he's going to be figuring that one out. But when you look at others that are out there, what are some common denominators? Work ethic, that's real strong, but what are some of the other things that you see as you coach different loan originators and executives?
I work with originators, I work with managers, I work with owners.
Yep.
And the biggest common denominator of the most successful across the board is their focus. They're very clear on what they're doing and why they're doing it.
So the purpose.
The purpose.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Now, some of my clients, they don't need another paycheck. They could stop tomorrow. They just do it for the love and passion of the business. Yeah. Others, they still have not achieved their goals. They still not have gotten to where they want or what have you, but they're still focused very much on serving the clients, be it the realtors, be it the borrowers, be it both. And, I talk about this, and I even talk about this in the book as well, is there's so much focus on how fast we close transactions.
Yes.
There's so much focus on that.
Yes, there is.
That is not client experience, because you can close really fast and have a customer who's really pissed off.
That's right.
Okay. And I often talk, I'm a big Van Halen fan, and not too long ago, I finished Alex Van Halen's autobiography called Brothers. Great book. And I'm reading that for pleasure, but somehow something for business will jump out at you. And there's a quote that I use in my trainings. And he goes, people never remember the music you play. They remember how you made them feel.
Exactly right.
And I read that. I'm like, holy
That's
crap.
so true.
I go, our industry, we're focused on the music.
Yep.
But we got to focus on how the customers feel. And when you really dive into the book, when you really understand how you view things, how the customer views things, how you use questions to draw out what's most important to the customer, not the qualifying questions. Everybody knows those. Yes. The other questions that are really important, that's where real shifts happen. And questions are about, if you really were to solve what the whole book is about, besides the AI part, It's all about it. What are the questions you ask? And how do you prepare for what's coming? And
that's the part, because it is changing. The game is changing pretty radically. AI is reinventing our industry. We're seeing evidence of that all over the map. Pavan is a client of mine at SunWest, and now Celigence, and has Angel AI. I mean, it is literally rewriting how business is done. And the rate of, or the number of loans that is going to be originator can originate is going up exponentially. Talk about, when you talk in your book about AI, which is that part of your book, it's one of my favorite parts. I finished reading it again over the weekend. I'm going back and reading it again. But authenticity meets AI. What do you mean by that when you're talking about that on the back cover here?
Okay. It's really very simple, David. I believe that there's always going to be people who want a purely digital experience, and they don't care if there's another human being on the other end of the phone.
I wonder if are there that many of them, you think, that are out there? I mean,
that number is going to grow, but it grows very slowly, and a lot slower than people actually believe. And I can give you a statistic from NAR. Years ago, they talked about how real estate agents were going to be unneeded. This was decades ago. And ironically, last year, we're in 20, report comes out in 24, in summer of 24. So in 23, 88% of buyers used a real estate agent to buy or sell a property, a residential property.
Right.
And everybody's saying that number is going down, it's going down, it's going down. Well, the number now is 90%.
Really?
It's gone up.
Going up.
But here's the crazy thing. Remember, the young people, they don't want to talk to human beings. They don't want to help. They just want to do everything online. Ages 22 to 39 of home buyers, 92% of them use real estate agents.
Wow.
So the statistics blow away what all the noise that people are out there screaming from the mountaintops. And the people that are screaming about it are the people who have an agenda trying to get people to change their behaviors. So there's going to be a portion of the population that just want a purely digital experience and they don't care if they ever talk to another human being. But the masses are focused on this is a stressful thing they're doing, especially for first-time home buyers. Yep. And the internet you can no longer trust. Even chat hallucinates. They all hallucinate.
Yeah, exactly right.
And they don't think. So the whole connection between AI and again, the book was written for developing, and that was, you asked me a question, which I didn't finish answering. Why did I write the book? The other reason why I wrote the book is there's never, at least I've never seen a single book in our industry that was on one topic. One topic, which is how to win agent relationships. And because that's very dear to my...
key, and it will continue to be the key.
It's going to be the key. It's not going to be the only way. And I teach people refining. I teach all lead conversion. I teach all the things. But this was a book that I felt was very important to write about. And focusing on winning those relationships, it's, a realtor says, if you believe in purchase business and a realtor says to you, I have an existing relationship.
Right.
I will challenge you
relationship with a
loan officer. The top 3 objections realtors will give: I have an existing relationship, I have an in-house lender, I only do listings. Those are the top 3. And I will challenge anyone right now, go into ChatGPT and ask it, what do you say, answer the problem, what do you say when a realtor says this to you? I have an existing relationship, I have an in-house lender, whatever, and all it's going to do is it's going to say, well, you want to provide value, you want to show them what your value is great. It's not going to give you anything really specific because there's nothing really out there that talks about it. And this is in the book. I tell you exactly what to say. And if a realtor says, I have an existing relationship, my response, the first thing I teach you is, I appreciate you being honest with me. I expected that you did. I was just hoping I could ask you a question. Now, what does that do? Okay, I'm not trying to make this into a training course here.
No.
But what does that do?
Keep going.
What it does is, first of all, the realtor is not ready for that because no other loan officer knows to say that. Most loan officers just go into, chatting, or they wither away because they don't know how to respond to it. But if I say to a realtor, I appreciate you being honest with me, I expected that you did. Well, if they were lying to me, they're probably going to stop lying because I just told them I appreciate them being honest with me. Second thing is they're not ready for that response. And third, if I say, I was just hoping I could ask you a question, we are all programmed to answer questions. In fact, we cannot avoid answering questions, either verbally or nonverbal.
Interesting.
We can't. Can I have fun with you in the audience right for a second,
Please,
David?
Absolutely.
Okay. Here's the challenge, everybody. You ready? For right now, look at whatever you want. Look at the screen, whatever. Just make sure you're still hearing me. Do whatever you want. Go on, but make sure you hear. Do anything you want, but don't think about the color of your car. Okay?
Every time.
Every one of you thought you either thought about either you saw your car, you saw the color, you saw the word.
Yep.
I didn't even ask you what color your car is. I told you not to.
Yes.
Which is always the joke I make about originators, and I'm one at heart. I go, salespeople are great people. We have only 2 flaws: we don't read, we don't listen. Other than that, we're perfect.
Now we got it down pretty good. Right. That's a great example because you have a tendency. We as humans are creatures of the question. We've got to answer that question, and it's not always obvious where we're going to go with that. But what are
Dave, here's the thing though. The majority of loan officers, you know what they focus on? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? What I teach is, what are you going to ask?
Ask. Yeah. That's one thing that leaped out of this book. I think it's so important that we start asking the question. What are some other principles that people are going to get when they read this book?
Well, they're definitely
going. That one is one of my favorite one, by the way, because I think people do too much telling and not enough asking.
I mean, what they're really going to get from the book is a plan. It is a step-by-step of how to plan for your success, how to position yourself. Everybody listens to the same radio station. And this wasn't created by me. I heard this in a sales seminar probably 30 years ago. WIIFM, what's in it for me?
That's good.
What I challenge loan officers with all the time, I go, I'm a realtor, you're a loan officer, why should I do business with you? I got good rates, I'm competitive, I'll return your phone calls, I'm available. And then I ask the audience a question, I go, have you ever heard a loan officer say they're not going to answer their phone? Have you ever heard them say they're not going to make themselves available? No, everybody's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So my whole challenge is, if somebody were to ask me, why should I do business with you? I'd say that's a great question. Before I answer it, would you mind if I asked you a question? What's most important to you in a lender that you'd want to work with? Let's see if we're even a good fit.
Yes.
So now they're going to tell me what's most important to them, and I get to do two things. One, either align my answers with them because I have the same values and the same needs, or realize this person is insane because they want me to be available at midnight on the weekends, and I'm not going to be.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm teaching how to ask questions, and then I ultimately, once we get to the ideas that I give in the book of why you'd want to have a conversation with me. What problem am I going to solve for you, or what opportunity? You want to get noticed? You have to either solve a problem or create an opportunity. That is the fastest, easiest way to get noticed. And that's how you stand out from the crowd, because you're not talking about what you do. You're talking about what you do for them.
Yeah, it's all about what, yeah, exactly right. Well, another trap that I like in 160, page 167, you talked about the trap of providing too much information. I think with too much information about the markets, too much information, I mean, that one, I had to stop and think. I said, well, aren't we supposed to provide information? Isn't that our job? And it's then, but talk about this trap, and we'll probably leave it at that just to entice people to come and read the book.
Sure.
Because a lot of people fall into this one. Yeah. They're trying to be economists. They're trying to tell you where the market's going. It's like, why are you trying to be all these things and provide all these answers?
Well, see, here's the thing. There are customers who want that. There are realtors who want that information. There are borrowers who want that information. And for those people, you should be well-versed in the market.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
But then you could come and meet me, and you want to talk to me about whatever it is. I want just tell me what my result's going to be and what my experience will be. I don't need all the details.
Yep.
And once you start getting into details, I start glazing over. And because those details, first of all, I already know that I'm going to retain maybe 1/10 of it. And again, I'm taking on that I don't know anything about the markets. I'm an average consumer, so I know whatever little bit I know about the housing market, or whatever, all the great information that I got from the media that we always know is accurate. By the way, just anybody is wondering, I am from New York. Sarcasm is always included in my coaching training, and it's also included in the book.
Yeah, that's great.
But it's, you have to meet people where they are. Information rarely sells. What sells is emotion. And this is something that I learned from Tony Robbins decades ago. People buy with emotion and justify their decisions to buy with logic. And if you look at the way the majority of LOs sell, they sell with logic, they sell with information, they sell with data. And if you really want to connect with me, I will connect with you if you're addressing my emotional needs. You know, we're not buying an iPhone here, okay? We're not buying a bottle of water. we're buying a house, we're getting a mortgage, we're going into debt. There are emotions for most people that are involved, especially for a first-time home buyer.
Yes.
And information doesn't do it. If I can just give one more example, I know we're running up against the clock, but this is really going to this example I think will really hit it home. Let's think about refinances for a second, just even though the book's about purchases. Refinances for a second. Every loan officer, every manager, everybody that's on this program has probably heard this from a borrower about refinancing. They could save the money, $100, $200, $300, for whatever the amount of money is per month, but they don't go ahead with it. And the loan officer keeps saying, yeah, but you're going to save this much, you're going to save this much, you're going to save this much. Dave, does this sound familiar?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But what they're not focusing on is the words that the customer said. It seems like it's too much to go through, or too much to go through again. And that triggers the question. Whenever that happened to me, I'd say, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, assuming it wasn't with me the last time they got financing, the last time you got a mortgage, what happened? Because they're saying it's too much to go through again because they're referencing the previous experience.
Exactly right.
So if I can find out what their pain points are, I can solve them.
Yeah, asking
a
simple question like, what did you like or dislike about the last process, the last mortgage loan you got? Boy, they give you the playbook right there.
One of my favorite things to say is if you ask great questions,
yes,
whomever you're asking will roll out the red carpet for you and tell you everything you need to know. Yes. But you'll never pick up on those things. One, if you don't ask questions. And two, many loan officers ask questions but are still waiting for their turn to talk.
Oh, yeah.
And that means you don't listen.
You're not listening, yes. How can people get a copy of this book?
Well, they can go to my website. They can grab a copy right off of the website. It's listed there. And it's ronvaimberg.com. And that's really, you can also get it on Amazon as well.
Of course, yep.
Okay, it is on Amazon. I was very excited that it hit in the first week a top seller and top new book.
Congratulations.
In my category. I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
ronvaimberg.com.
How can people reach you? Same place, ronvaimberg.com.
You can reach me at ronvaimberg.com or directly at my email, ron@ronvaimberg.com.
Yeah.
Real hard one, real original. So it's ron@ronvaimberg.com, or go through my website. There's also a phone number there as well. And I'm always up for a great conversation to see how I can help you, whether it's as an individual.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I enjoy most about you, we're both givers. We both like giving out and helping people. I mean, I listened to some of the conversations that I've introduced you to, and I get the privilege of listening in on them. And I am so impressed with how you just continually pouring out information. Really, I just love what you're doing. I love the energy behind it. I love the fact that we've been in relationship for so many years, and I love what you've done to transform lives and create success in people. That has been quite extraordinary. And I'm so excited about Brian, what we're doing together now with watching guys like Brian Cook come to market. It's not too late to get out there and start growing and building something.
Oh, he is killing it. I'm so excited to be working with you and helping him.
Yes.
But what he's doing takes energy, effort, and time.
Yeah.
And people may be aspired to take on the world like Brian, or someone just may want to write 3 more loans a month.
Right.
And that's their golden goose. But it's all simple. You just got to stay focused and use strategies that work.
Ron, I always love having you on the podcast. Love this book. I'm going to recommend it out to everybody. And folks, we're going to put links in our podcast notes so you can click on those links to get a hold of Ron as well as get a copy of the book. Ron, thanks so much for being here, friend.
David, thank you so much. Great being on the program. And I know we're going to continue talking on our work with Brian.
You bet we are. Watch this one, folks. Watch what happens to World Home Loans. It is, I tell you, it is one successful company that's about ready to explode in the landscape. So we got to be there at the beginning and watch it grow. All right, friend. Have a blessed rest of your day, Ron. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You bet. Folks, this podcast was made possible by our sponsors, Byte Software, First Close, Angel AI, True, Candid, the Mortgage Bankers Association of America, Lenders One, Modex, Redder, and Mortgage Advisory Tools, and Fuel.inc. Check it all out at our website. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Share it with others, and we look forward to having you back here next time.
You've been listening to Lykken on Lending. Our passion is to bring you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. So on this show, if you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, it's your go-to source for all things mortgage. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon. Take care, and we'll see you next time on Lykken on Lending.